Howdy folks, Jambriki here. Many iconic animated villains have deservedly gained fame and fandom, but what about the cartoon baddies that fade into obscurity or never got the praise that they deserved? Well, in this video, I'm going to be celebrating 4 more underappreciated animated rogues. When Mystery Inc. head to New Orleans to hunt for real ghosts and monsters, a beautiful woman called Lena invites the gang to Moonscar Island, a spooky private home owned by the lavish Simone. Scoob and friends are not only haunted by spirits during their stay, but they also face a horde of zombies. However, it later turns out that the real villains are Lena and Simone themselves, who are actually life-draining cat people. Scooby-Doo baddies tend to be rather formulaic, their twist often hampered by either shallow predictability, on-the-nose red herrings, or poor foreshadowing. Lena and Simone break this cliche mold big time though, because Zombie Island's mystery is so well executed. Seeing as Lena and Simone have been trapping folks into coming to their island for centuries, their trickery against Mystery Inc. plays out so naturally. Yes, of course their chili plantation is going to sway the usually on-guard Scooby and Shaggy, and yeah, Lena and Simone's Cajun charms, luxury southern hospitality, and soothing accents carry a lot of their act's weight.
You'll have a beautiful view of the harvest moon tonight. I hope you'll be comfortable here.
But they do actually put an effort into creating a believable narrative, like when Simone pretends to scold Lena for inviting Mystery Inc. to the island without her boss's consent, a move that persuades our heroes and the audience into thinking that this invite was completely unplanned, going as far as to suggest that Simone doesn't even want any guests.
I heard these folks say they wanted to see a real haunted house, so I thought...
You might show them mine. I see. Really, Lena.
There's just so many details like this that strengthen the later twist, while also complementing our villain's deception skills. Heck, Lena and Simone's scam is so intricate that they've cleverly introduced a third cat person, Jacques, a ferryman who can give a warm welcome and safe trip for unsuspecting victims, then later thwart any escape attempts as the most physically imposing feline in the movie. It's like Jacques is the block that completes the system that makes this warp scheme work. At the same time, we get some genuinely great red herrings to throw off our scent too. Suspects to fall into a fantastically ambiguous grey area. Like all good red herrings, they make us speculate over whether they're just simply grumpy oddballs, or the real culprits who keep letting their masks slip.
Sorry about all the damage, Lena.
Oh, don't worry. Bo will take care of it. Bo? Our new gardener.
I'll take care of it.
They act suspiciously weird now and again, but perhaps they're just doing their jobs?
I was doing some planting, got thirsty, went to get a drink, and came back to find these two.
Most Scooby-Doo red herrings try annoyingly hard to get audiences to suspect them, but Zombie Island's red herrings let the audiences make up their own minds.
Now get these trespassing tourists off my boat. I got fishing to do!
However, the best red herrings are the actual zombies. Their hauntings first seem like harsh threats, and our heroes instinctively run away when they see the Walking Dead. But the truth is that these corpses are the real victims of our mystery.
And those zombies are just the poor souls you drained!
So lines that originally seemed intimidating can now be reread as sincere warnings.
Get away! Who's that? Well, I don't know.
It makes sense that our heroes perceive these dead-eyed corpses as dangerous monsters, but when you observe their clothes, you'll notice how most of them are dressed like typical tourists. So we're actually looking at the empty shells of innocent visitors of New Orleans, and dang is that dark for Scooby-Doo. Once the cats are literally out of the bag, we're treated with some of the scariest Scooby-Doo monsters in the franchise's history. While traditional Mystery Inc. foes tend to resemble campy 60s B-movie beasts, Lena and Simone are closer to an 80s horror classics villain. That's not all. Both creatures can transform into bigger and scarier cat monsters, plus perform demonic life-draining rituals that push the boundaries of kids' horror. Sure, Lena and Simone were once settlers who had no choice but to be cursed by a cat god in order to escape a barbaric pirate attack, but they are still forces of evil that have sacrificed their ethics and morals for selfish immortality, which is what makes them so unique as Scooby-Doo villains. They are both tragic victims of piracy and remorseless vicious monsters addicted to staying eternally alive.
Only afterwards did we discover that invoking the cat god's power had cursed us as well.
A little business venture of mine was very successful. You could say I struck gold.
this fancy-pants royal advisor is adamant about becoming the king, so he kidnaps Princess Annalise to prevent her from marrying King Dominic. However, the princess's doppelganger, a commoner called Erica, swaps places with the kidnapped Annalise in order to foil Preminger's twisted scheme. While the Barbie movie fanbase unanimously agrees that this deviant is the best villain in the franchise, those outside the Barbie community have been truly missing out on the splendor and delight of this campy baddie.
I can figure out how the princess escaped, you fools! But why didn't she tell the queen she'd been captured?
Preminger has this glittery flamboyance that is undeniably riveting to watch, and to call him highly theatrical will be an understatement. Every time he prances into the room, he ends up stealing the scene like it's his movie. I can't help but grin from ear to ear whenever he's on screen, because he's just so unapologetically extra.
The dungeon!
His over-the-top personality is also backed up by a wonderful Martin Short. Short plays Preminger with a sense of pure fun behind the microphone, and this means that every Preminger line becomes instantly memorable. What may have been a simple piece of dialogue on paper is suddenly given a fruity tang punch once Short brings it to life, making Preminger into one of the most quotable villains ever.
Why don't you stick to your books, schoolboy? Wouldn't that be fun?
This cartoon creep is also granted a recurring musical number, and he kills it every single time. I mean, this song is already rich with creative rhymes and imaginative rhythm changes, but then Preminger brings his firework of a personality to the table in spades. From his whimsically showy dancing to Martin Short's colourful and playful singing.
I've been bowing, I've been scraping, I've been lying like a rug, and for 10 long years I've had to pay my dues.
I'm so glad that this purple-suited devil is allowed to have his own song. Preminger isn't just entertainingly silly though. There are deeper reasons why I think he's criminally underrated. Like I said, Preminger's villain scheme is turned upside down once Erica takes the princess's place. So we end up with a captivating cat-and-mouse game between our villain and heroes, one that challenges both sides, all while everyone has to keep all royalty none the wiser. Preminger himself is very crafty on his end of things. Firstly, he cleverly makes his own minions take the blame for the kidnapping, which helps him to continue playing the role of an innocent royal advisor, and prevents the princess from suspecting his part in all of this mess.
Come quickly, princess. You can tell me everything on the way to the castle.
But first, let me...
No time.
It's a genius move! Secondly, boy can Preminger adapt to our hero's chess tactics. Disadvantage seems like a foreign word to this villain, because it doesn't take him that long to overcome setbacks, and he can whip up a change of plan like he's been keeping it in his back pocket this whole time. For example, once marrying Annalise is out of the question, Preminger simply traps the princess in a mine and shows Her Majesty's ring to shut down any ideas of a search party. Then, he uses the fact that he's been secretly running a wealthy gold mining side hustle throughout the film as leverage over the financially struggling queen.
Smile, my dear. You're about to become my queen.
Only to save my people.
Do you all see what I mean? It's like Preminger has been playing this game before our heroes even enter the arena, and now the good guys are up against a top-tier master of strategy, a villain who has almost magnetized the ball into staying in his court. Despite sneering at our heroes for underestimating his genius, I'd actually say that Preminger is being the far more naive one, as he continues to ignore our hero's exceptional instinctive skills and detective abilities. Preminger is so distracted by his own shallow vanity that he fails to recognize that his royal scheme's victims happen to be very intelligent and brave. Preminger's winning streak is high, and he can swat every detour thrown his way, but our heroes are just as adaptive and survival savvy.
Where did you find this?
On the princess's desk.
Perhaps I can help you look for her.
Hence why the crooked wannabe king ultimately loses this cat-and-mouse game and faces an embarrassing public defeat at his very own wedding. So we're halfway through my video, and I would just like to let everyone know that I'm in a new short film, a horror comedy called It's All Wrong. That's me there in the old man mask. It's All Wrong is about the mystery of what's behind a creepy cupboard, and you'll have to watch the short to find out what's lurking behind these doors. Link to the film is in the description below.
I welcome you, Miss Shuffle-Up. I welcome you to the world of the imaginaries.
The Imaginary is an anime movie from Studio Ponok that's set in a world where imaginary friends are real, and a predatory old man called Mr. Bunting hunts them down for food. It's up to an imaginary called Roger to stop Bunting and save his comatose human, Amanda. Now, yes, Bunting doesn't look like an imaginary friend hunting monster, with his Hawaiian shirt and Ned Flanders tash, but trust me, he's one super creepy anime villain.
Well, hello, little girl. I'm so sorry to have surprised you. Don't worry, I'm not here for you, little girl.
I wouldn't even say that Bunting is subtle about his villainy. Sure, he can come up with excuses to hide his intentions, but he's a very socially awkward and pretentious man who acts like an alien pretending to seem human.
The old world is dying and the new world struggles to be born in the interregnum between light and darkness. What is it that is born?
Heck, he's not exactly quite about his weird thing for the smell of imaginaries.
Bunting!
Ah, yes, this is it. This is the aroma. That wonderful scent.
Not to mention, his imaginary minion is a spooky cross between Sadako and Wednesday Addams that can attack other imaginaries and transform herself into something even more intimidating. Bunting's hipster vibe might seem silly, but his disturbing sidekick can make up for that. Oh, and don't get me started on Bunting's feeding attempts. There's something nightmarishly uncanny and surreal about the way that he consumes imaginaries. You can't even put a pin on what his gob is doing. It's so creepy how desperate he is to eat Roger as well. He doesn't see this imaginary friend as an innocent child, but rather a buffet feast for his hungry soul. He does not feel any remorse for Roger and will go to nonsensical lengths to convince the boy that he should let himself become a snack.
You have the strong spice of sadness. An extremely strong spice indeed. That makes it even more apparent that you deserve to be eaten by me.
I think it's also important to note that Bunting isn't just simply a bad man. He's a guy who refused to let go of his imaginary friend once he got older and became obsessed with consuming imaginaries to grow his own imagination. So he's basically an evil adult with the unlimited brain creativity of a child, which makes him near invincible in the world of imaginaries. This leads to scene after scene of insanely creative villain attacks and strategies. He has the power of thousands of imaginaries that he's eaten, and had centuries to train his ability to project his visions. So nothing at all is outside his ability, and his ideas can match or even outwit a kid's youthful imagination.
Dear boy, it's pointless to run. It's pointless to hope.
Unfortunately for Bunting though, his exploited but loyal imaginary friend ends up sacrificing herself to a beloved human. And of course, centuries-old food is a recipe for fatality.
But I, Zigzag, will reign supreme, for they are easy prey.
Zig-Zag is an advisor to a king, but he's secretly plotting to gain power over the kingdom. However, when he fails to blackmail his highness, Zig-Zag decides to work for the evil One-Eye Army. Now, I'm sure that some folks will accuse this villain of being a Jafar ripoff. But here's the thing, Richard Williams' The Thief and the Cobbler actually started a production in the 1960s, only for Miramax to take it off of Williams' hands and finish it themselves in the 90s. And many animators who worked on it actually left the film to go work on Disney's Aladdin. So, if anything, it's more fair to call Jafar a Zig-Zag ripoff. To be honest, I actually find Zig-Zag to be a bit more interesting than Jafar. You see, Zig-Zag might seem like a powerful sorcerer, but he's actually only able to perform stage magic, and so his options are restricted to artificial illusions, slimy manipulation, or trick hypnosis. He has no magic staff or genie in a lamp. It's quite engaging to watch a theatre-level magician working against his limitations while doing his very best to keep up the idea that he's a real wizard, because it's fun seeing a powerless villain fighting to seem more powerful.
Though they may appear complex, for me they fall like playing cards, and I control the depths.
What I also love is that Zig-Zag never actually gets to climb the political ladder as a villain. He always remains second fiddle to higher ups or stronger forces. and spends the whole film groveling to those in positions that he desperately craves, only to later die as another villain subordinate at the very hands of his own hungry pets. Zig-Zag is a weaselly and sniveling snob who thinks that he's worthy of royalty or leadership, plus looks down on the kingdom's people as below him, but he's actually a loser fake magician who thinks that his David Copperfield act is enough to guarantee him overwhelming power, which is downright pathetic. That being said, there's something impressive about how he keeps trying and trying to get what he wants. He's a defiant and determined crook who refuses to face a dire fate as a villain. I mean, even when the One-Eyed General throws Zig-Zag to his snapping crocodile pit, he just casually continues his con game on the very predators that want him for dinner, and then mushes into the One-Eye Army's cave with a "that's the best you've all got."
Don't treat me lightly twice. Take me to your master!
Zig-Zag is also a spectacle to behold in terms of artistic creativity and character performance. He's an elastic and springy specimen of a man that uses his stretchy body and rubbery face to worm his way around kings or generals. It's almost like he's made from some kind of blue gelatinous substance. There's something inhuman and reality-defying about the way that he slinks and slimes as a corrupt advisor. It's an eccentric style of high-quality character animation that demonstrates the exceptional magnitude and perfectionism of Richard Williams.
From Father's Cathay at my bidding was sent the best polo ponies of the Orient.
The decision to cast the legendary Vincent Price as Zig-Zag's voice is a stroke of genius too. Price's pronounced and elongated delivery, coupled with his distinct posh pipes and naturally nasally voice, results in a rich villain vocal performance that goes hand in hand with Zig-Zag's conniving personality.
You must catch your breath. What dawn of disaster? Why speak you of death?
Oh, one more thing. If you watch the recobbled cut of The Thief and the Cobbler, Zig-Zag is still sort of the same character, but one shocking difference is that Zig-Zag is willing to set his pet vulture on a still-alive cobbler. A scene so twisted that it might take viewers of the Miramax version completely off guard. So those are all the animated villains that I'll be discussing today. I've been Jamboriki and I hope you enjoyed my video. Cheerio, folks.